Yeah. Some things were meant to be, so I'll let it be.
Baby, I'm not mad at all. We both tried and tasted fall. Can't hold our love against the wall. No, every inch of me is hurting, and I just wanna leave it all behind. Yeah, I'm. Place. Goodbye, so long, my dear love. Love is forgotten, so I'm moving on. Goodbye, so long, my dear friend.
Hello, we're back. MG, are you there? Mckenna, are you
What's
there?
up? What's up? What's up?
Studio, we're in. MG, you can hear me now?
Yes, ma'am. You loud and clear. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Let me tell you something. Hey guys, it's February 28th. We got one more day for the month to be over, and it's only because it's leap year. That's why we have one other day. So if you have not realized, this year is moving faster than the other years. So whatever you got to do, whatever plans you got, you can't sit down. You got to be doing it because it is the end of February. Okay, we only got one more day in February because it's leap year. But hey, I feel like what happened to AT&T customers last week is happening over here with the Xfinity. I don't know. I just feel so. But we're supposed to be having some bad weather in Georgia this evening, so who knows? But MG Mckenna, she is here, but she isn't here. She is under the weather, but she's trying to hang out with us tonight. So if she's able to join in, she will. But Mckenna, thank you for being a true team player. But MG, what's going on? What's going on?
Nothing much. It's a rainy Wednesday, but we're gonna keep this thing popping.
I mean, we got some things to talk about. Do you have any gripes? I always got gripes. So do you have any gripes tonight?
Um, Let me see. I don't think I have a gripe, but I just kind of have like a. It's not a gripe, but it's just kind of like an observation of love and relationships. Because I be talking to a lot of people, and they be talking about their relationships and things of that nature. So I don't know if it's necessarily a gripe, just something that kind of food for thought for some people. Um, when they reach difficulties in their relationships, understanding that there are what you're trying to do sometimes is very difficult because you're trying to take two different people who don't really know each other, aren't the same people, and mesh them. and to come into like one person. And sometimes that can prove to be very, very difficult. So for folk, man, have patience, getting to know people, respecting their differences, um, and just continue to get to know them. Give people grace, man. That's all. That's all I want to say. It's not a gripe, just a little info.
Well, I just want to add a little something to that. So it's been forever and a day since I've been out, back on the streets. And I mean,
Not on the streets now.
the street, that's what they say. That's when you back out, when you single. That's what they say, back on the street. But I gotta say something. Oh, these streets need to be cleaned. Okay. I mean, just trying to get to know folks nowadays, it's I don't want to know nobody right now. I don't know. I don't want to spin the block. So for all the, listen, y'all. I'm 51. I'm gonna be 52 in April. But I'm just saying, I've been learning these street terms. Spin the block. I was like, what's that? That's when you get back with your ex, like Nelly and Ashanti. I think they're a cute couple. I'm for that.
Yeah, yeah.
I ain't really. I'm looking back. I was looking back on my block. Nah.
your block ain't what's up, huh?
Nah. Nah. But I'm just saying with that, like getting to know people, I just believe we all are different, and we have to accept each other. What is that word I'm looking for? We're all different in different kind of ways. Some people, you might have a person who's messy. Then you might have someone who's a neat freak. And I believe it could be compromised. But I just believe that when you are going into a relationship, you're getting to know people you date. Be yourself. Don't try to be with that person. You hear that person say, oh, I like when a person do this, or I like to do this. And you're not even really for that, but you willing to say, yeah, I'm like that too, just to kind of have something in common with a person when it's really not what you want to do, because it's going to cause problem in the relationship, because you're doing some of the things just because of that individual. So I believe that people should just be who they are, be themselves from the beginning. Like, hey, this is me. Like, I'm be straight up. Listen, I like eating candy. Don't tell me that while I'm eating all that candy. I like sweets. I know how to do it moderate, and then I do know how to go overboard. But I could compromise and have some candy here and there every other day or once a week. I could do that. I could compromise. But don't tell me that I need to stop eating candy. No, that's me
right.
though.
Right. Now, one other thing I wanted to say too is that when people get a little bit more seasoned, that's what we're gonna say. When we get a little bit more seasoned, everybody has a notion that you are stuck in your ways. Just like you said, if you like candy, you ain't gonna stop eating candy. You've been eating candy for the past umpteen years. You ain't gonna stop that now because somebody come along and say, I really don't like people eating candy like that. You're not gonna stop that. But what I will say is that, again, when you talk about people with differences, it's about adjustments, not changing. Because when you come into something and you're getting to know someone, you're basing everything that you're doing or for that person, to that person, or however you treat that person based on past and previous relationships and dealings with people. And that person could be completely different from what you've ever met or ever known somebody to be in your life. So you have, if you dig this person, you dig some things about this person, you got to make adjustments when it comes to those type of things. You don't have to change you necessarily, but you just have to make adjustments. So I just want to come out here and say that real fast, man, because I call myself a hopeless romantic, but I don't know. I may not be. I might not be.
Well, like I said,
Mckenna was saying something.
I can compromise. I can adjust, and I'm willing to do things that I've never done before. It just depends on what it is too. But like I said, the most important thing to have a successful friendship, relationship, situationships, entanglements is to be yourself. Okay, that's just bottom
Facts.
line BS there.
Facts.
So first of all, we gotta talk about, of course, a few weeks ago, my son Junior Jackson was on, and he was, letting us know that he is running in the upcoming election. But what we got to talk about, they have early voting in Georgia, and early voting, it's already going on, and it ends March 9th. So, and we also have to vote. It's a primary for the presidency. So we need to go out there and vote. So one of my girlfriend reminded me, I said, I didn't even know. I said, what are we voting for? That's crazy. I didn't know I knew the primary was around. Just didn't think the primary was coming to
I'm
Georgia.
glad you asked the question.
I had to ask. I was like, what are we voting for? So my girlfriend said, she said, it's the primary. So get out there and vote, because, the Republican candidate with, Trump, he said, MG, can you tell him what he said about us?
Oh, he said y'all hood, so be like him. Is that what he said?
Right. So in other words, what he said was that, he suggested that the black voters could relate to his indictments, his mug shots. It appeals to the black voters.
Let me find out. He's gonna be on the next DJ Khaled video. I'm so hood.
Well, did you see the high top sneakers that he released last week?
I heard about him. He trying to get them votes any way he can. I ain't mad at his hustle though. You gonna get you a pair though? What's up? No. They're only about what, 400?
Tonia, you like comfortable shoes.
If I don't have a Jordan, I'm definitely not going to get a Trump. But you know what? He's insulting the black folks' intelligence.
It's not the first time.
Mckenna, we can barely hear you. Come on in again.
I said it's not the first time.
You were exactly right about it. It's not the first time, and he is just continually to insult our intelligence. So Kimberly said, "Hi family, yes, I early voted. My dad told me it was open. He is woke. Love y'all. Hey Kim, and of course." Kim be on that voting too. And she did send me a text, I think it was last week, about the early voting too. And I did forget again. But again, y'all, if you did not know what we're voting for this is a primary for the presidency. So either you're gonna vote for Sleepy Joe, or you gonna vote for indicted Trump.
Yeah, we need our listeners, man, to keep us abreast of all this stuff, because we definitely gonna forget. Unfortunately. So if y'all know about something's going on early voting and those things, just go ahead and let us know.
Yes, because we're human too, and we do have day jobs and family and everything. But you know what? That's what we're here for too, to also share it. Because like I said, our listeners share things with us, and we're able to share with them. So that's the most important thing when it comes to, Let's Gripe. We're here to talk about what's going on in our neighborhood and even outside our neighborhood. So I wanted to touch about Wendy Williams, y'all. Did you guys get to see a little peek or hear about what happened? I did watch the first night. Did you guys get to any little insight of where's Wendy?
I didn't get a chance, an opportunity to watch it, but I've definitely heard a few comments on it. People give a breakdown of a little bit about it. I think the overwhelming sentiment was sadness about some of the things that were going on, and I think the another overwhelming sentiment was that they wanted to kind of push back and maybe even sue Lifetime about the choice to even kind of air the documentary. So,
all right, Mckenna, you got any input on that?
No, I didn't get a chance to watch it. Can you kind of update me on what you saw?
All right. So basically, originally when they started out with "Where Is Wendy," Wendy Williams, she is she's one of the executive producer. When it started out, she just wanted to. She was doing that as far as coming back in the media scene, but with a podcast. And so that's why she came up with that. And that's why they were following her video, and because it was basically her getting back out here, not on TV but podcast. So she wanted to be able to, like she said, pull her boobs out if she want to. However, during the taping of "Where Is Wendy," they started to realize different behaviors that she was having, outbursts, etc., etc. And during the whole thing, she, I guess, maybe went for examination. But the long story short is that she was diagnosed with a specific. Wait, I can't say it. I'm saying it fast. So I'm gonna go back to the other word. But basically, she has dementia. I think it's frontal dementia, and the other diagnosis that she has, basically it also it affects her speech as well, and she drinks alcohol. And let's see what Kim says. She says Wendy document is so sad, but they're sharing her true primary progressive asphyxia and the frontal dementia, them big words. So yes, um it is sad, and we can kind of run through it as far as my take on it. A lot of people saying that they shouldn't have released it, they shouldn't have aired it. But besides how is her behavior and certain things that were shown in the documentary, is that the courts appointed a guardianship over Wendy, and the guardianship is a total stranger, not a family member, not her son. It's a total stranger, and she has like a management team that helps her out, like take care of her travel, her business, or whatever. Seeing my personal observation of the show, I don't think the team was for her. I think they're about making money. So whatever she was saying, they were like a yes, yes, yes for her. I don't feel that they had her best interest in forefront. And the family, even up until this documentary was being aired, they didn't even know what facility she was in. I think this documentary being released will help her family be able to get guardianship of her, be able to be in her life, because what they're doing, I don't think it's fair. I also believe not only being diagnosed with the medical diagnosis, I believe also she is totally heartbroken with her divorce, how her marriage went, and also the loss of her mother. Her mother died. It wasn't like her mother was sick; they were prepared for it. She had a stroke and she ended up dying. So I think a lot of it has to do with heartbreak. Kim says one spokesperson say they did not know she had dementia until after the project started. The question I wonder is who decided to keep going. Lifetime and her management team, because it's money. I mean, it was millions of us tuned in to watch that show. So they were gonna air it. So it was beneficial to Lifetime and the producers and even her management team. It was sad for us to watch it, but I think it's also will help her family when they go to court regarding her review of her guardianship for this year. MG, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, because I heard a few different takes on it about the guardianship and her family and then her in general. So I think one of the opinions that I heard was that the reason why she got a guardianship, because at the time, I guess when they decided that the family wasn't cohesive in what they wanted to do with everything, semi kind of like some, like sometimes you have infighting about what to do. And I think originally it was supposed to be her son, who I think is like 2021 or something to that effect. Um, and I think at some point it just felt like he wasn't making the right decisions with the money already, and that maybe time for someone to kind of, step in who didn't have a personal interest in her money at all, to kind of step in and just kind of manage everything. So I think that's what the guardianship was for, because um, it seemed like people didn't know what to do, and everybody wanted to be the person, and it seemed like a bunch of heads in the kitchen. Um, but I think as far as she went, someone did mention though, that she herself was, their opinion was that she was addicted to fame. So in a sense, like, so for the documentary and everything else, um, some of the things, even though at times she did not seem that she was making the best decision because of dementia, stuff like that, that she was for putting herself out in the camera and doing a lot of that stuff, because that's what she liked to be center of attention, to be out front, and to be, to be famous and stuff. So it's just interesting to hear the kind of, because I haven't watched it yet, but I've listened to people's, kind of opinion on it, got different opinions and stuff. So that was just one of the ones that I heard.
Yes, I think it was last year when her son, um, when Wells Fargo went to court to say, "Hey, we're gonna freeze her money because it looks like someone is using the money, and they don't think that she's aware of it." And the American Express card for Wendy Williams, they said that what her son had, I guess it was, his name was on the account, had $100,000 charge. But during the documentary, they did interview him, and he was saying that his mother, she authorized those things. She loves expensive things. She likes doing expensive things, and you know, private jets, etc. So, but I think they didn't, because they knew something was going on with Wendy. I believe between Wells Fargo and the court, they used that to basically lock down her money. I personally believe that because of her medical issues now, I could see they having like a probate, that her money is allotted, like whatever her bills are monthly, and cost of living, and whoever is going to take care of her 24/7, they definitely need to be compensated and so forth. I can see a microscope being over how her money is being managed or used, but I believe that she has a sister, she has two brothers, her son, she loves her son dearly, he loves his mother dearly. I believe they are, and her father. I believe that they are definitely the ones who should be taking care of Wendy at this time, not a guardianship and a management team who is basically pretty much there for money. It is such a sad thing, but it makes us think about our future. How are we handling our future if we get sick? Do you have a living will? Have you told your parents, your children, whoever is close to your significant other, how you want things to be done? What if one day you wake up and you don't, you're in a coma, and you come out of coma and you don't remember things? Do your family know your wish? Do they know your wish if you are in an accident and you have to be on a breathing machine? Do you want to stay on the machine? Because some family, they don't want to see you go, so they'll keep you on the machine just to see if you would, And then there are some people wishes like, I don't want to be that way, so don't put me on a machine. So I think this leads up to a bigger conversation outside of Wendy, as far as what is our wish if something were to happen and we are no longer able to make decisions for ourselves. Is there someone there that could or know what our wishes would be? MG, McKenna, you guys, anything to add on that?
No, I think you're exactly right. I think it definitely brings up a conversation of preparing for transition. Um, and the sooner you do it, the better off um, your family and friends and whoever um, are. You know, this it's very interesting that you know, I don't know if cremation was very popular back in the day, but today it seems to be very popular. Um, just amongst people, you know. Um, but even just, and then you mentioned you talked about you know, family uh, knowing the wishes of her and you know just in general people. If you don't lay that out, especially like you don't know what could happen to you tomorrow, and you may not even transition tomorrow, but you could be in a state to where someone else has to make the decisions for you, and you can't make the decisions for yourself, and you'll have to continue to live like that, and you may not necessarily get to choose how you live life, even in that state, uh, because you haven't prepared for anything. So I definitely think it's very important. It's caused me to kind of look a little deeper into some things to make sure I prepare um, for that time.
And I'll just add that, it's a conversation that we need to have more often in our community. You see these tragedies for young people, and, people have GoFundMe accounts for their 21-year-old or their 17-year-old. Um, it's just a conversation that we should have earlier and continue to say in our community, and not be afraid or hesitant to have the conversation. You know, they say prior planning prevents poor performance. And so it is something that we need to kind of plan for, have a conversation about, so that everybody knows, what to do in the event of. We have all kinds of preparedness drills. We know what to do if there's a tornado. We know what to do when there's a power outage. We know what to do when the water's not working. So we have plans for those types of things. But, what happens when our loved one is incapacitated um, and they need, long-term care, or, our loved one leaves us suddenly and unexpected, who's in charge of what, um, and what policies were available, if any. You know, and so I think that it brings up a good conversation, and a good reminder, to self to make sure that we're not just talking about it, but we're acting on it.
I agree. The conversation we always need to have. Sometimes they're hard to have. I remember for the longest, I've been telling my family, hey, if anything happened to me, I want to get cremated. I've changed my mind.
Oh
MG,
yeah,
I've
oh
changed
yeah,
my mind. Yes.
really
I don't want to be
interesting.
cremated anymore. I changed my mind. But I don't want to be buried neither.
Okay, what you trying to do? You want them to stand you up at the party? What we talking
I'm not
about
gonna be
here?
standing up. I'm gonna be sitting down with a couple of glasses of wine in
Oh Lord, oh Lord. Okay.
my hand. So I'm still up in the air. So that's the thing. Because the last time they heard, they're gonna be like, "Nope, she want to be cremated." I changed my mind, but I don't know, where would I want to be buried? All that kind of thing. So yes, it is a conversation. I guess just like when you have your will and you decide your children or whoever you had as your beneficiary, you don't want to be a beneficiary anymore. You make that decision. You got to change it before something happens. Something happened to the person who you didn't really want to get it. So these are conversations. But the only thing that I can say regarding Wendy, do hope that she gets to be surrounded by her family with the love alone. That will help her through this journey. Dementia is something that is so rampant now. um, Pretty much every other person are dealing with someone in their family with dementia, so it's something that we're seeing more in the Black community now as well. So we do need to get educated with it. It just opened up conversation about not only money and beneficiary and who you wish that you want, but it just opened up so much conversation about health wise. And because one of the things that they were saying was that even before the diagnosis with the dementia, um, back in 2019, she was told by the doctor already that she had some brain damage due to alcohol, excessive drinking alcohol excessively. And if she didn't stop, she was gonna get worse because she was already experiencing that memory loss then. So it just gotten worse because she didn't stop drinking, and she was officially diagnosed with the dementia. So this just opened up a whole lot of conversation when it comes to health wise and getting checked out. And sometimes we used to see our grandparents, but you just told them something, they asked you about it again, and you'll say, okay, it's old age. But now we can't look at it like that. Or we're saying, oh, they're getting older, or I'm getting older, I forgot. Because it could be a lot more going on than just old age. So this Wendy documentary, I think it opened up a whole lot of conversation, different conversation in the family, in the household. So the most thing that I know personally that I can wish is the best for her and her family. But I do pray that her family do get guardianship of her so she could be surrounded by her family with love, because I think it would make this journey, this chapter of her life, much better for her than how it is right now, being in a facility. You guys, want to add on to that before we kind of jump?
No, I'm good. I think I said all I think I need to say.
All right. So, of course, in the social media world, I think about almost 2 years ago, you guys was hearing me talk about Portia Williams. She was one of the cast member of the Real Housewives of Atlanta, and she had um, started to date one of a previous cast member husband. And she was like, oh, we wasn't really friends, we was just, we had to portray like we were friends for introducing her on the show. But she ended up marrying um, that man. However, last week news broke that he's Nigerian, so he applied for um, his U.S. citizenship. Hey, I don't even know why people are so stupid anyway. So he applied for his citizenship. He was denied. First of all, when you apply for citizenship, when you coming from another country, you applying for your green card, your visa. They take your fingerprint. This right here. You know this fingerprint right here? Not even a mug shot could find you. This fingerprint that can find you anywhere you at. So anyway, he filed. They denied him, and guess what? He was deported. He had rap sheet, knowing you weren't even supposed to be in the country, the U.S. of A.
Wow. Wow.
First of all, you're not even supposed to be here, Mckenna.
Rookie mistake.
Not only you here in the U.S. of A, illegally got deported, came back in under a alias, fake fraud documents. You on TV? I gotta put my face in here. You on TV? You on social media? You showering this woman with money, this, cars, all that kind of stuff. But then you gonna go file for your citizenship?
Did he forget who he was for a second?
I think he did.
Hmm.
We call that he thought he was finer than what he was. Yeah, the U.S. we're very strict on immigration. He hasn't watched the news lately,
Have he not?
sir. You should have stayed under the radar, not brought
Under.
any attention, not brought
Facts.
any attention to yourself. Stayed off of social media and just been her husband in the house and
Mm.
occasionally go somewhere with no media because you knew you weren't eligible to be this legal citizen in these United States of America. You knew that. But
Facts.
sometimes we convince ourselves of things that are not true. I've said that before. We believe the lies we tell ourselves, and then we forget that the facts, although they may be slow, they will catch up with us. And this is a great example of that.
What I said to my girlfriend about 2.5 weeks ago, but before this came out, I said it's something about him. What does he do? Where is this money? How he making this money? Every other 3 days or something, you see Portia, her daughter, and her family members on a private jet. Going to somebody country. They always be in Mexico, Costa Rica, and Dominican Republic. What you do? And as I said it, the next week or two. But my thing is that even if it was Portia who said, "Man, you need to get your citizenship, man," because every time we travel, I go on the this U.S. citizenship line, and you got to go over in the other regular line. Get your, you couldn't make something up. You go and you spend maybe about $1,000 for this application to become a U.S. citizen. Your fingerprint, boo.
He didn't pay the right people off, obviously.
How?
Here's
He would
another.
have had to use a whole different hand. I'm
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Here's another example of why it's important to tell your partner the truth. Because had she known the truth, she probably loved this man. She would have protected him. She would have been like, oh, well, we need to stay off social media and we need to stay out the public. Because if you're not supposed to be here, then we need to fly below the radar. Probably would have protected him and not even pressed him to get citizenship because she knew he wasn't eligible. But you you still have this facade and you're wearing your mask. Um, and you were honest. I mean, I couldn't imagine if she knew, she would have encouraged him to do this. I imagine that if she knew, she would have been like, okay, let's take down our Instagram page. Let's get off social media. Let's travel in a small circle and be quiet so that nobody's looking for you and nobody's bothering us. I'm just saying. You didn't watch
I,
the movie? I'm sure there's a movie about this.
but you are right because before Portia, I think he got deported. It was back in the 89s or whatever, and he came back around the 90s or whatever. So when he met Portia, this was around 2021. Okay? 21, 22, whatever. And you've been here that long under the radar because you wasn't hopping around social media and you wasn't hopping around TV and all that other kind of stuff. That's how you end up being here for so long. Why you couldn't just say you just want to be low key? Oh, baby, I don't do that social media stuff. But see, when I was talking about it, because I said I didn't like what she did. She knew this man was married to this baby. Whatever, she tried to make excuses. Oh, we wasn't really friends. The show we had to do it for the show, and whatever. This is my man, not my boo, my this, my that. So
That
now
money
after
make
the
you forget a lot of stuff. Money make you
news,
forget a lot of stuff.
but see, the only reason why she paid him any kind of attention, she looked sideways at him, is because she thought that money he had was real money. He got so much fraud, and after the news broke last week, I heard a couple of days ago that even now the private company that with the private jets, they sued him for $1 million for unpaid bill.
Wow. So he out there just flexing hard.
Out there flexing, taking out loan with the bank,
Finessing.
buying. He bought her a car,
Mm.
some kind of Rolls Royce car, and he bought the other ex one something similar. Borrowed the money from PNC Bank and never paid the loan. So now you want to file divorce, and now you saying that for him not to destroy no financial records and stuff, because you want to make sure the government know that you ain't had nothing to do with it.
That's wild. The lengths people go to. That's wild.
But that's also stemmed to a lot of people. You see somebody, you always want what somebody else have, and you don't even know what they doing to get what they got, or what they got to do to keep what they got.
Do you think she gonna divorce him though?
Yes,
You think so?
yeah. She
So are
filed for the
so are
she
they
filed for
legally
divorce.
are they
That girl
legally
did not
married?
like that man like that.
So are they legally married in his real name, or are they legally married in his alias?
Okay.
Good question.
If so, then it might not even be a real marriage.
Well, her attorney probably had to look at that in order for her to file for divorce in the United States court. But that's a good one, Mckenna.
So did she file for divorce before or after he got caught?
After the news broke that he ain't supposed to be here, so now he over there in I think Mexico now. Mm-hmm.
They don't have a rendezvous in Dominican Republic like they usually do. And he gonna be like, baby, listen, I can fix this. They lying on me and blah blah blah. Woo woo. Just give me a minute to get everything situated, but don't believe everything people are telling you. Like, come on.
I think he tried that. And I think she's afraid now because with all of the fraud stuff that he had behind him, under him, and Mike, and the stuff that's coming out now, she is afraid that her stuff is gonna get caught up in it. But what I told my girlfriend, I said, he probably took some loan out of her name and she don't even know it. Or probably know it thinking it's for some business stuff.
What's that prenup looking like?
Oh, that prenup, she asked in the courts to enforce the prenup. I'm like, so in her head, she's still thinking he got money though.
Mm.
Well, sometimes
Mm.
the prenup just says that we keep our own assets. So we need to learn a little bit more about what this prenup says.
Well, it wasn't public, but she's trying to get them to enforce it, and she doesn't want her stuff to get caught up with him. But we're gonna see. You know me. You know your girl Tonia is gonna follow up and keep and find out what happened with the story. But another thing, this should have been right behind the whole election thing. Did you see your friend Mitch McConnell? He decided he gonna step down from leadership in November.
Did he decide or did the people around him decide?
Well, he came out and said he decided. He wasn't forced out, but I think he felt it was coming.
He felt his people should have felt it. Look, bro, you out here doing a mannequin challenge on live TV. Boy, what are we doing? Go sit down somewhere, enjoy the rest of your life. What we doing?
What, MG?
Come on, man. What we doing?
Have several seats, sir. Here, have some seats. Here you go.
I'm sorry, but it scared me when I saw him just froze on TV.
See, we can't be messing with you, Tommy. We can't be messing with you.
God forgive me. Lord forgive me. Y'all don't know how much time I be having to ask God for forgiveness at the end of the day. Because I be wrong sometimes, but I be right at the same time. But I'm just saying, I mean, if I was even his secretary or if I was a janitor in the Capitol, I'd be like, listen, you don't think it's time for you to retire?
You say not the janitor.
Yeah, he was like taking out, emptying out the trash in his office. I'm like, I don't think it's time to retire. Just go on the beach and relax somewhere. I'm just
That
saying,
sound
that's me as a
that
janitor.
sound like a good Saturday night skit. Saturday Night Live skit.
No, no, no. How you have to do it is, I heard they were planning your retirement party. Are you excited?
Where did you get that from? I plan to be here for as long as I can. You know, I'm just saying. I think it's it's a power trip. It's a power trip. That's why a lot of them staying there as old as they are. But when your health is being affected, and I just believe seriously, I'm not even Mckenna can take, for McKenna, she lives her life and I live mine too. We not waiting until we retire to be living some life. Because a lot of times by the time you retire, the pain that you have, something happen, you can't move around as much. Because I know now, sometimes when I get up out the bed in the morning, I have to step down and I'm like, and don't let me have to go use the bathroom. I can barely get there. So, and that's at my age. So we know that our body changes. So why work till it's that bad that we're not able to even go on a vacation without using a wheelchair? Why wait?
It doesn't
What are
make
we waiting on?
Yeah. And people do, they wait till they're like, when I retire at 75, by the time you're 75, you want to sit down somewhere. You want to be in bed by 8:30. Um, so I encourage people to enjoy life today. Of course, plan for tomorrow, but enjoy it today and make the memories while the memories are enjoyable. And then when you retire, if you still have some more energy, then keep on moving. But at least you won't be in the situation where, and you hear a lot of retired people say, um, man, I retired and I feel like all I do is go to doctors every 3 months. That's like their regimen. They go to the doctor, 3 months they have another checkup, 3 months they have another checkup, then they go to the second. Then another 3 months they go back to the first doctor, second doctor in the next 3 months, and it's a whole cycle. So yeah, as Tony said, we're big on enjoying life today and making memories and having a good time. But tomorrow is tomorrow, but today is a good day to have a good time.
You hear it here. We always encouraging it. And it doesn't mean that, you have to travel out the country and all that. Just do something. Get out and do something. Even if it's just to go to the park, sit down, take a fresh air. Just do something. Do something that I'm not. I'm so glad that I started partying when I was young. My mother made the wrong mistake when she gave me permission to go out with my older sister at 16 because that was it. She done opened a can of worm and I partied from I was 16 until I was probably about 25, about 25, 24. And I partied. I tell you I did. And I don't miss it. I had fun when I did. And I'm not even at my age now, even before when I was in my 30s, I didn't have to go anywhere. I didn't have to go to a club. I could be in the house listening to music and enjoying it. So I did that, and working how many hours, how many jobs, but I travel, I went places. So even not having one knee replacement, sometimes the knees still be stiff here and there. But I can honestly say, even at my age, I can say I'm living. Not that I've lived, I'm living. I've done stuff. So, I remember I went to Dunn's River Falls in Jamaica back in 2001. So I wasn't even 30 yet. Was that 2000? Yep, 2001. I think I was maybe 29. And when I tell you, I was able to walk. I didn't go under the falls because I don't do that foolishness. I'm not walking on body rocks with no water. But I was able to walk that 5-10 miles to get to the beach. I went to Jamaica last year. Went to Dunn's Rivers Fall. I fussed on my way in and out of that place. People talking about see you next time. I said, see who? I would never come back here. I said, this place is not wheelchair accessible, handicap friendly, nothing. If somebody was supposed to have a medical emergency, they probably would have to land a little propeller plane on the beach to get you, because that's how far it is. So my moral to the story is, I'm glad I did it back when I was 29, because I tried it when I was 51 and it was not nice.
It wasn't what it was doing, huh?
I was like, did they make this place bigger? Did they push it out more to the sea? I mean, I'm literally like, I don't remember it being so far. I don't remember being, I just don't remember it being that way. But it's a difference. 29, I mean, I was, I probably still could have did a half a cartwheel at that time. But now
Not
I
a
was half, because I was scared of doing cartwheel too when I was young. But I still probably could have did half. You know, the one that you act is you think you did something, but you really didn't do the cartwheel, that part.
Okay.
So I'm just saying that we put off things because so we could do it later. But a lot of times putting it off to later, I mean, it's not gonna be the same. And pushing a wheelchair in the sand ain't cool, because it's barely, you could hardly walk good in the sand. So can you imagine a wheelchair? So I'm saying that to say, just live your life if you can now. Stop just saving your money for retirement. Just stop. You got $2. I can see you put 50 cents in the retirement. Don't put the whole $2. That's what I'm just saying. Don't put the whole $2 in for retirement. You was gonna say something, MG?
Oh no, my bad. I was just listening.
Mckenna?
I was just gonna say, I mean, I agree with you. Having fun looks different for different people. Some people like to travel, some people like to go to art shows, some people like to go to music festivals and jazz festivals. So whatever that thing is for you, make some time to enjoy life. Whether it's going outside for a walk, whether it's climbing up Stone Mountain. There are a lot of things right here in Georgia. Like when you Google Georgia vacations or things to do, there's lots of things to explore in the state of Georgia. Like I realized they have some kind of train, like a scenic mountain train that goes around. And I was like, I want to do that one year. And so there's just lots of things to do. And I think that we get stuck in a rut of work and home. Um, and we have our routines because our routines keep us safe. We know what to expect. I'm going to go to work from, 10 to 6 or whatever. I'll be home by 7 and, we'll eat. And like we have our routines, and there's nothing wrong with a routine because routines keep things familiar. They keep things safe. People know what to expect when you have a routine. But add some fun to your routine, some laughter, you know, um, playgrounds and parks and museums and um, there's all kinds of things to enjoy. I mean, we have a civil rights museum I've been to a couple times here, and every time I go, you learn something different. And so, the message on Let's Gripe is, love each other, love yourself, take care of yourself, pay attention to your wellness, and enjoy.
You heard it here, and Let's Gripe. Mckenna always sums it up. Before we go, there was a son and mother. His mother was 82 years old. She had a bucket list and she wanted to go skydiving. So he paid for her to go skydiving and everything. And of course, as they leaped, her and the skydiving professional leaped out of the plane.
Okay.
She ended up having a heart attack and she ended
Mm.
up dying.
Mm.
They have arrested the son. They said he was negligent because he knew that she had a heart problem, and for him to even, agree for her doing that. So he is charged with murder, and plus because he was the beneficiary of her life insurance
Wow.
policy. What you think about that?
I don't know, man. It's it's an unfortunate situation because we hear about people having bucket lists like this all the time, and you really don't know his motive. I mean, of course, because he's a sole beneficiary. That's probably why he was the only one able to make the decision. I mean, in the sense of like, that he was probably the only person that looked out for her, to care for her, and did all these other things. So maybe that's why he was a, sole beneficiary. But it's tough. I mean, to be charged with murder for right after, your parent, your mom passed away is, I don't know. That's an interesting story. It's an interesting story.
I like to hear more about that as it unfolds because, on the other hand, we want to honor our parents, with their bucket list. I remember my dad wanted to jump out the airplane last year when he turned 75. And I said, you just got a pacemaker, so we're going to do the indoor skydiving. And he looked at me like, that's what we're going to do. So, I altered the plan. We did the indoor skydiving, and he enjoyed that enough that he didn't really need to jump out the plane. He was like, that was a good compromise, and I enjoyed it, and I would do it again. I said, okay. But I think it just kind of goes back to, like he had a relationship with his, you said it was his mom or his grandma?
His mother.
His mother. He had a relationship with his mother. And children are taught to be obedient to their parents. So if your parent says, this is what I want to do, and I'm going to do it without you, we don't know all of the context of it. But then also, when you go, you have to fill out a waiver and you have to answer the questions. And she would have had to have signed for that. So I think it's a stretch to charge him with murder. I think it's somebody else that might be upset that this happened. But she could have had a heart attack on that day, regardless if she comes out. So it's going to be an interesting case to prove that it was his fault and not the skydiver's fault and not the company's fault, that it was actually his fault. So keep us posted on this story.
I'm going to keep posted with it, and I'll keep you guys updated on that case as well. Well, it's 8:01. Thank you guys so much for always supporting Let's Gripe and the powerhouseradio.com. Please don't forget to remember to share live and like and subscribe. He did not push her. That was something she wanted to do. He just wanted her to be happy. I agree with you 100%. So until next week is going to be March. So what I said in the beginning of the show, the only reason why we have one more day left for February is because it's leap year. So again, this year is moving fast. So don't put off what you could do today for tomorrow. Again, thank you so much for tuning in to the powerhouseradio.com. Listening to Let's Gripe on Wednesday. See you next week. This is Tonia saying peace out.
This is Mckenna saying good night, everybody.
And this is MG. Y'all have a blessed one.
Yeah. You listen to the sounds of DJ Fourth Quarter in your ear right now. If you're in your car, if you're at home, if you're on your phone, let's gripe, baby.
Driving home and you're feeling kinda tired. Radio play the same thing every day, so you need a little switch in your life. Traffic got you jammed up every night. Tune in to Powerhouse. Wednesday 7 to 9, you need to check them out. I promise I ain't trying to hype, but one good listen tonight, it might change your life. So what's the name of the show? You need something to just ride to on the go. Or you might be home, so log on. You can even dial in on your phone. I promise that you're gonna love it. Just try it one time, it'll blow your mind. Now I'ma say it just one more time. Every Wednesday from 7 to 9.
Let's gripe. Let's gripe. Let's gripe. Let's gripe. Let's gripe. Let's gripe.
You're in tune to the Powerhouse Radio, linking the world to the Caribbean. You're in tune to the Powerhouse Radio, linking the world to the Caribbean.